Are you tired, Leafs Nation? Tired of the same old story. The endless search for that elusive piece, that game-changing talent on the blue line? What if I told you that the answer, the dream scenario, is not just a fantasy, but a very real, very tangible possibility waiting for the Toronto Maple Leafs to seize it? Today, we're diving deep into a trade rumor that could redefine the Leafs' defensive core, bringing a dynamic, right-shot defenseman to the Scotiabank Arena, a player who could very well be Toronto's own version of Edmonton's electrifying Evan Bouchard. Get ready, because this isn't just speculation. It's an opportunity the Leafs absolutely cannot afford to miss. For years, the Toronto Maple Leafs have been on a relentless quest to solidify their defensive unit, particularly craving a right-handed shot with offensive prowess. We've seen countless names floated, countless hopes dashed, but now, a truly tantalizing prospect has emerged from the West Coast. Los Angeles Kings defenseman Brandt Clarke. Imagine a player who can quarterback a power play, create offense in the back end, and inject a level of excitement into the blue line that we haven't seen in ages. That's Brandt Clarke. This isn't just about adding another body. It's about acquiring a legitimate top-four talent, a player who, at just 22 years old, is on the cusp of breaking out into superstardom. The potential here is immense. A genuine chance to finally fill that gaping hole on the right side of the Leafs defense with a player who brings both skill and a high ceiling. This isn't just a trade. It's a potential franchise-altering move. Now, here's where the plot thickens, and frankly, where the head-scratching begins. The Los Angeles Kings, the team that drafted Clarke 8th overall in 2021, seem to be exhibiting a peculiar reluctance to fully embrace the young defenseman's undeniable talent. Kings GM Ken Holland, in a recent interview, described Clarke as a really talented guy with a bright future, but then immediately undercut that enthusiasm by stating he doesn't know the player yet. I've got to get to camp and watch. I've got to see him on the ice, and I've got to talk to him and have a meeting with him, Holland mused, sounding remarkably undecided for a general manager discussing a top 10 draft pick with immense potential. Is this a shrewd tactic, a masterclass in playing coy? Or is it a genuine indication that the Kings might not fully appreciate the gem they have in their possession? The skepticism doesn't stop with Holland. Last season, after Clarke started with an impressive 11 points in 12 games, Coach Todd McClellan, or his successor, if we're talking about the current season, cooled the excitement, emphasizing Clarke just has to play a complete game. Then, in January, the Ontario native was made a healthy scratch. A coach with misgivings, a GM needing convincing. It sounds less like a team nurturing a star and more like a team that might be, dare I say, fumbling the bag. If the Kings are genuinely hesitant to commit to a player of Clarke's caliber, then the Toronto Maple Leafs must be ready to pounce. The parallels between Brandt Clarke and Edmonton Oilers star defenseman Evan Bouchard are simply too striking to ignore. Both were high first-round picks, Bouchard 10th overall in 2018. Clarke 8th in 2021. Both are right-shot defensemen known for their offensive instincts. And crucially, both have shown an incredible ability to rack up points even without being given the top special teams minutes or the full ice time typically afforded to offensive defensemen. During the 2024-25 season, Clarke put up 33 points despite being limited to 78 regular season games and a modest 16-17 average time on ice. He ranked 7th on the Kings in power play TOI, closer to a defensive forward like Philip Danault than a power play quarterback like Drew Doughty. Now, think about Bouchard's trajectory. He exploded from 40 points to a staggering 82 points once Tyson Barrie departed Edmonton, opening up those crucial top power play minutes. It's not a stretch to envision a similar peak for Clarke. While his jump might not be as dramatic as Bouchard's, it's entirely reasonable to picture bigger and better things once he's given the opportunity, and the trust to truly unleash his offensive potential. The blueprint for success is there, and Clarke fits it perfectly. Of course, we must address the elephant in the room, the one aspect that gives him pause. Like Bouchard, Clarke does leave you wanting defensively, whether it's taking too many chances or simply struggling to lock down his own zone. There are areas for improvement on the defensive side of his game. But here's the critical point. There's time to work out those issues, and even if he remains a player with some defensive flaws, the good already heavily outweighs the bad. More importantly, The Toronto Maple Leafs are uniquely positioned to manage these flaws. As we've seen with players like Simon Benoit, and the potential additions of veterans such as Chris Tanev or Jake McCabe, the Maple Leafs are already teaming with reliable, stay-at-home types. They have the personnel to plug most of the leaks, allowing Clarke to focus on what he does best, creating offense and driving play. A well-constructed defensive pairing with a steady partner could easily mitigate Clarke's defensive gambles, unleashing his offensive firepower without crippling the team's overall defensive structure. This isn't about finding a perfect player. It's about finding a player whose strengths are elite and whose weaknesses can be effectively managed by the existing roster. The message to the Toronto Maple Leafs front office is clear. If the door on a Brandt Clarke trade is even slightly ajar, you don't just peek inside, you kick that door wide open. Skilled, right-handed defensemen, especially those on a rookie contract with top pairing potential, are among the rarest and most coveted assets in the entire National Hockey League. This isn't a commodity you find every day. The opportunity to acquire a player who could be a cornerstone of your blue line for the next decade, a player who could be the offensive spark you've been desperately seeking, is staring you right in the face. The cost will be serious, no doubt, but the potential reward far outweighs the investment. Do your due diligence. Float an offer. Float 4 offers if you have to. But whatever you do, don't let this chance slip away. Leafs Nation is hungry for that game-changing talent, and Brandt Clarke could be exactly what they've been dreaming of. So, what do you think, Leafs Nation? Is Brandt Clarke the missing piece? The next Evan Bouchard for Toronto? Should the Maple Leafs go all in to acquire him? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more exclusive insights into your favorite team. We love hearing from you, and your engagement helps us bring you more of the content you crave.